So I'll quickly talk about the mounting of ADLS or blob into your Databricks. Okay, so how do you mount the data lake ADLS files into your Databricks? So what is mounting actually? Mounting is nothing but just kind of a connecting a pointer and creating a pointer kind of to your storage location, ADLS location, and start working on that into your Databricks. Okay, so usually in the database, in the sense, usually it is a connecting to your ADLS and start working on that. Okay, so basically you're creating a pointer in your Databricks and reading that file and updating the file. That's what you're doing there. Okay, now here what I have done is I have a file over here. Here I have a file flight. Here 2010 summary. If you remember that I was taking this example, so I'll try to I just mounted the same example over here. Okay, so how do you mount? So you have various mount policies, mount methods. So you can mount with service principal, you can mount with identity, you can mount with SAS, like access key, so and all. Okay, I'll try to show the with the service principal. So service principal is the way through which you can connect to some of the resource specified applications or specified resources. Okay, so how do you create a service principal and how do you do that? Let me show that. And within the Databricks you have standard what do you say, method to connect to that. So let me show that. So here we have this. I'll share this notebook anyway. So you have this standard method over here. Okay. So the method is dbutilist.fs.mount. This is the method. Okay. Through which you can mount ADLS into your Databricks. Okay. And these are the specified format for all the what do you say, all the details. Okay, where you will give all the details of your service principal and also your ADLS account and all. Okay, and by saying this mount, so what happens with the given properties, it will mount over here. That's it. Okay, so for that, what you need to create, you go to the Active Directory, Azure Active Directory. Okay, so where you will create actually that service principal. So I'll go to Azure Active Directory, which already I did. Okay, and here I'll go to the app registration. Okay. I'll go here, new registration. Okay, so here the registration happens. So here I'm registering a app over here. So mount registration, accounts in this organization directories only. Who can use this application or access this API? I'm saying that accounts in this organization directory only. Okay, so I'm using this, then registering. Okay, so once I did this, so you need to access this with the secrets now. So I'll go to this certificates and secrets. I'll create new client secret. So you can give for how many days this should be valid, 3 months or 6 months, everything you can give over here. So for how many days this will be active, so that that connection will be preserved. So here I'll say add. Now this client secret is done. Okay, so here you need to give the secrets. Okay, this secret, and what you need to do is you need to note down this application ID, that is client ID, and tenant ID. Okay, application ID, tenant ID, you need to note it down. Okay, the application ID, tenant ID. If you see this here, yeah, see here, this is the app ID. Okay, this is the tenant ID. So I was saying, right, this is the app ID, that is a client ID. This is a tenant ID. Here you just replace it. That's it. And the client secret, already I created a secret. and here you have secret ID. This is secret ID is there, right? So you just copy this secret ID over here. You just copy secret ID into this client secret. That's it. Over. So then what happens? What you do? So here container name. So whatever the container name I have, I will do that. So before that, what you do? So first step is you'll go to Azure data. Azure Active Directory. Then you will create a app registration. Okay, you'll create a new registration in the app registration. Okay, and within the app registration, you will create the secret. Okay, where does it go? Let's see. App sample, you register it. I did that earlier. I don't know which is gone. Okay. So here what you'll do, you'll create a secret. Okay, in the secret, you will copy the secret ID. Okay, in the app registration, in the client ID, tenant ID, you will do that. Okay, then once you do that, so you need to give this contributor access, whatever you created. Okay, this one I created, right? Mount app. Okay, so for this mount app, whatever you created, right? And for this application, for this service principal, this is service principal now. For this, you need to give the contributor access in your storage account. So I'll go to the storage account over here. Okay, so how do you control the access to the storage account? I'll go to access control. Okay, I'll say add role assignment. Okay, so I'll go over here. So it'll say storage blob data contributor allows for read, write, and delete access for storage. So I'm giving access to that service principal, this contributor role. So select that. Next. Okay, and here for user or group you want to give access or manage entity. We'll talk about management, but here mine is service principal which I've created. So I'll go create service principal over here. And what is that I created? Yeah, sample test I created, I think. So I just create sample test, select, review and assign. That's it. What happens now? The service principal. Okay. No, there's not sample test, I think. Let me check what is that. What is the one I created just now? App sample, mount app. Okay, mount app I created. So I'll go here. I'll go to storage account. I'll go here, access control. I'll add role assignment. Here role assignment, I need to give storage blob data contributor. Next, now I'll select service principal. By default it is selected. Click on that. Mount app. That's it. So what happens? That will have a contributor access. Okay. Now here, what I will do, I'll show here. So I'll go here. So yesterday I've done one thing. So I'll go here, app registration. Sorry. If you see here, I did with the ADB mount over here. So this application ID. So I did not do anything extra. So just I replaced the values over here. So if you see here, this is a client ID I copied over here. Okay. And this tenant ID I copied over here. This 84 is there, right? 84 tenant ID I copied over here. And what are the secrets for this here? I have secret of demo secret, the BC4. This secret ID I will copy over. Oh, sorry, that's the value. This value is there. This value I copied over here. That's it. So what happens? All those will be that the connection will establish over here. Then you can start working on the data connecting to that particular one. Okay, this already mounted is saying because I mounted this yesterday. Now what I need to do, what I can do, simply this is generic one where I can read the data. So here I mounted the data into this one, this particular location. I gave the mount location. Okay, so the mount point is the location. So the same mount point I will use over here and read the data over. That's it. Getting? So this mounting and all you can you can understand in terms of exam, and otherwise it will be done usually from the infrastructure team, but you should know how to mount it. Using a service principle, you mount this. That's it. Okay, so you can create a you can upload a file and try to mount yourself and see how does it go. So I'll share this content right away so that you can go through that and see. All right.
Sadhman, you have not shared the CSV files yet.
Yeah, those are very big actually, but today I'll try to take some time and upload it without missing that. Sorry. And even yeah, and data lake also I did not share data lake one, so I will share that as well. Data lake one, I mean to say data lake notebook. Okay, I'll share that as well. Today I will do that. Sorry. Okay, this is how you mount it. Okay. Yeah, that's all. And let me talk about quickly about the streams. Okay. Yeah. See, earlier I was talking about there are two types of data. What are the types of the data we have? Usually view process. How many types of the data you have you process? Usually you ingest and process. You have batch data and stream data, right? So I was talking about that. So usually, like if somebody asks what kind of data you are ingesting or what kind of data you are processing, so you'll say batch or streaming data, right? So you have batch data in the sense what happens, it comes at a time and you just take it and process it further. Okay, but what about the stream data? Streaming data in the sense it continuously comes, the data gets pumped up, the data ingested at continuous intervals. Say suppose you have your what do you say, your bank transaction. Okay, bank transactions, what happens, suppose you have credit card, then you will use the credit card, then it should come on the fly, right? It cannot wait till in the evening, then all the transaction comes at a single time. It cannot be done, right? So it should come at the regular intervals because all the transactions are very important. Say suppose you have a toll gate on the highway. Okay, then you should process it on the fly, like a stream. Okay, so all the streaming data, whatever you have, like these kind of data, you should have a mechanism to process the data. Okay, so for that you have a stream analytics. So what is the stream data? So data streams are the data pertaining to occurrence of specific activity that are emitted by applications, IoT devices, or sensors or other source known as data producers. Okay, so data producers are the ones which produces these streams. Okay, the producers can be IoT devices. Say IoT device in the sense, say suppose you have this you have like water mechanism, you have water distribution system in your village or in your town. Okay, so that IoT device will monitor the water distribution and it keeps on reading the data, right? Okay, how many liters has gone and how many tankers has been filled up. These are IoT data, right? Say suppose you signaling. Okay, in the signals, it in the signaling you have the CC cameras and all, right? It capture all the images, then at regular intervals it should process the data, right? And otherwise as I was saying, You have like, sorry.
Power house also.
Yeah, power also. Yes, power distribution you have. So where power will be distributed regular intervals, and how many units has been consumed, how much power has been distributed. This also should be captured, right? These are all the data producers. So these data producers produces the streaming data at regular intervals, which needs to be captured and process the data, right? Now this streams has the info about the event. So whatever the streaming it produces, these are all about the events, right? So when it has started, and how much data it has. So these are all the streaming data it will capture. Then what is the advantage of the streaming data? So as I was saying, continuously analyze the data to detect issues and understand and respond to them. Say suppose you have this water mechanism, or water distribution or power distribution. Then what happens? So you should analyze it continuously, right? Say suppose there is some fluctuation, or there is the stream suddenly stopped from the electricity. Then you can understand the issue, you can detect the issue on the fly, saying that okay, the event is not coming, the stream is not generating from this. Then you should take some action on it, right? And understand the component or system behavior, or understand various conditions to fuel further enhancements of the component of the system. Okay, so system behavior, say suppose stock markets are coming. Okay, stock market generates series of the data. Okay, so based on some some logic, you'll try to understand, okay, how the markets are operating today, whether they are going into positive side, or whether they are going to negative side, right? So understanding the system and try to analyze the behavior of it. This is about the one of the advantage. Okay, one is detecting a issue and understanding the behavior, then trigger specific action alert when certain thresholds are hit. Okay, say suppose your credit card got stolen. Okay, and the guy who stole that performing series of transaction. Okay, then you might get an alert saying that okay, so this series of actions are happening on your credit card, just take an action on that, or keep an eye on that. Okay, so triggering action whenever a specific thresholds are hit. Okay, so for these various kind of things, the streams are very important. So as I was saying, stock markets, water pipes monitoring, highway toll, banking fraud. So these are the some of the advantage of the processing the streams. Okay, most of the most of the applications which are related to the bankings, insurance companies, those definitely will be having streaming data which you need to process.
So like
Yeah,
social websites, no, Twitter, FB also.
yeah,
stream.
sorry, yeah, social media. Yeah, social media is one of the big examples. Sorry, I did not add that. Yeah, social media is also one of the great example where you have series of the data which you need to capture and analyze. Say suppose Twitter. So Twitter, what it does, so what is the trending for today? They says that, right? So it gets all the series of tweets and analyze it, those streams, and capture saying that okay, this is the one trending today, or this is the most talked about topic today, right? So social media also same thing. Okay, so processing of the streams. Now I was saying the streams are coming at regular intervals. Okay, there will be two types of processings. One is the live processing, one is the on-demand processing. Live in the sense, what happens? Same thing, as the streams are coming from the events. Okay, just process it immediately and propagate to the next level of consumer. Okay, live requires more processing power to run computation, but offers the ability to gain near real-time insights using services like Azure Stream Analytics. So it requires more processing power because the events are coming at regular intervals in the form of streams. Now you need to capture them. You need to have the ability to capture them to give more real-time insights. So for that, you'll use the Azure Streaming Analytics. Okay. Otherwise, you have on demand, involve persisting all incoming data in data store. So in the on demand, what happens? It won't be captured at regular intervals. So whatever the data is coming, like whether it is IoT hub or event hub, the data will be captured and it will be stored temporarily into the ADLS location. Okay. So say suppose for every 30 minutes, you process the data. Right. So in the last 30 minutes, whatever the data is generating from the producer, I will take the data and store it into the ADLS location. From there, the Azure Stream Analytics get the data and process the data. Then the Power BI dashboard guy can connect to that and analyze the data, right? So in the processing of the stream service, there will be two things: live or on demand. Live in the sense, as the data is coming in, you process the data. On demand, you persist the data at regular intervals, then you just process it, right? And here, usually you have, I was talking about events and all, events capturing. So usually in the streaming logic, you have three kind of things. One is the event producer, one is the event processor, and one is the event consumer. Okay, so event hub is a great example, or IoT hub is a great example for event producer, because they connect to the publishers and they produce series of events, saying that, say suppose the back transaction is there, okay, debits, credits and all, it produces a series of events, right? And event processors, which process this data. Now here is example, we are talking about Azure Stream Analytics is the event processor. These are responsible for ingesting and transforming the data. So what Stream Analytics, the event process, will do, this takes the data, process it, okay, and process in the sense, if any transformations are required on that, it will do that on that. Okay, then the final thing is event consumer. So in this example, I was saying that Power BI. So Power BI streaming dashboard will be there. So whatever the series of events, the data has been produced, okay, that will be connected to the Power BI, where the reporting guy connect to that and analyze the data, right? So the sources can be, as I was saying, it can be IoT devices or anything, right? So sensor systems or applications. Okay, so once it is done, the sources, by connecting the sources, you have ingestion. You need to do ingestion in the sense, the connection, the method to which you will ingest the data. So in this example, event hub, IoT hub, Azure Blob Storage, these are all the ingestions. Okay, so actual sources will be the sensors or factories or the back transactions or water distribution methods or factory IoT devices. Okay, these are all the generators which produces the data. Okay, using Event Hub, you ingest the data. Okay, and using Stream Analytics, you process the data. So you have .NET SDK, Stream Analytics, you have various things through which you analyze the data. Then finally, you give all the data into the target, in the sense data lake, you store the data, or Cosmos DB will store the data, or Blob Storage, you store the data. From there, the data will be consumed. So usually you will have three types, three main methods: event producers, event processors, and event consumers. Okay, so we can take an example where you can connect to the event producer. So event producer, I will take the data as a blob storage, where I got data in one of the format, and with the Stream Analytics, I will consume the data, and finally I will load the data into the consumer. Okay, this is a simple example. We will see, maybe we'll see tomorrow, but let me show that how do you create a Stream Analytics. Okay, so I'll go to a Stream Analytics job. I just create Stream Analytics. So this is the job I'm creating to process the data which is coming from the various resources. The source can be a IoT device, the source can be a event hub, the source can be a ADLS. Okay. So whether you want to get the data into the on-premise environment or cloud environment, you want to job. So obviously I go for the cloud. And streaming unit. So streaming unit is the one which process the actual data. Okay, so like you have data integration units in the data factory, data warehousing units in the dedicated SQL pool. Same way you have streaming unit in the Stream Analytics job. So I'll take only one because it's simple example. I don't want to waste my cost billing. That's it. So once you do that, so it will be created. So once you created, what happens? So it will have all the properties over here. Yeah, here which I have created yesterday. I'll okay. Anyway, this has also been created. Go to resource. So here what you will do, you once you perform input and output, you will start the job. Otherwise, these are the regular things. Activity log. You can give the access control. You can set the properties. Okay, you can see the properties. And here, these are important thing, job topology, where you will give the input and output. So here I was saying the input can be event hub, IoT hub, or blob storage. So I'll say blob storage. I'll load some data into the blob storage and I'll try to consume that. And output. So once you have output, the output can be anything I was saying, right? It can be blob storage, table storage, Cosmos DB, Power BI, wherever you want to capture the data. Here I'll say blob storage only. So here I'll say stream input. So blob storage, then you can give series of, you can give the blob account which you have in your account. Okay, say that stream input, okay, and storage account, and I can use existing. So I want to give the data into the JSON format. The note. I'll just save. Okay, same thing. I'll go to the output. So output also I'll choose the blob storage. Stream output I will do. And here I'll say stream output. I have a container saying the stream OP. I'll create again tomorrow, don't worry. But I'm just showing it high level. So process serialization, I do this one. So output and output is created. Now I need to go to the query and see that. Okay, once I query, so by default it will come over here. And if whatever the whatever the container and all you give, right, it will detect over here and it will show if the data is over there. Okay, same thing with the output. So what happens? Select star into your output alias from the input alias. In the sense, select star into your output, stream output from the input. So what happens? Whatever the data is there from the stream input, that will be copied into the output. That's it. So we'll take a simple example and show that. Even I'll try to show an example with the IoT hub also. We'll take some open source IoT and I'll try to show that. And here you have some Windows functions. Windows like at what amount of intervals you need to capture the data. Like say suppose next 5 minutes I need to capture the data. Okay, after 5 minutes I won't capture the data. Otherwise next 10 minutes I will do that. Otherwise last 5 minutes I will do that. So we have 4 types of Windows functions you need to understand theoretically. That also we'll discuss tomorrow. Okay, so we'll club with this event hub, IoT hub, and stream analytics will process couple of the data, then you will get a bitrate. Otherwise, this is a basic example of the stream analytics. All right. I think, yeah, we can stop over here and we'll continue this and try to work on this. And after tomorrow, what we will do is Monday, Monday and Tuesday,